In the wilderness of early America, water was both life and a constant threat. Streams could dry up overnight, springs could be contaminated, and, well, a single mistake could turn a routine trek into a fight for survival. Yet frontier explorers, trappers and scouts had a trick for producing clean, drinkable water in emergencies that, honestly, few people today even know exists. It wasn't flashy, it didn't require fancy filters, and it certainly didn't involve plastic bottles or modern gadgets. It was a combination of observation, patience, and a deep understanding of the natural world, a skill passed down through generations of frontiersmen. Tonight we're uncovering the frontier water trick, showing exactly how it works, why it has endured for centuries, and how you can use it yourself when every other source fails. The frontier trick relied on extracting moisture from the environment itself. When explorers and settlers ventured deep into forests, deserts or plains, they often found themselves far from streams or lakes. Instead of panicking, they learned to harvest water directly from the landscape. This method relied on a principle we still understand today. Water is everywhere in nature, but it must be coaxed into a usable form. One of the most reliable techniques involved transpiration from plants, essentially collecting the water they release into the air. Frontiersmen would select leafy plants with broad, waxy leaves and create a simple solar still. They dig a small hole, place a container at the bottom, and arrange plant leaves around it. A sheet of clear material such as animal hide, or later glass or plastic, would cover the hole, weighted at the edges. As sunlight hit the cover, water evaporated from the leaves and soil, condensed on the underside of the cover and dripped into the container. In some dry areas, this could yield up to 1 litre of drinkable water per day from a surprisingly small patch of forest. Modern survivalists can replicate this by using a small tarp or even a large plastic bag. Collect leafy branches, insert the container, seal the edges, and let the sun do the work. It's slow but effective, a reliable backup when other sources are unavailable. Frontiersmen weren't just digging holes, they were watching animals. Birds, insects and mammals all signal water presence. Early explorers noticed that deer tracks often led to hidden springs, and that birds flew in specific patterns toward ponds at sunrise and sunset. Even insects like mosquitoes and dragonflies congregated around water, providing clues to nearby hydration. This knowledge wasn't instinctive. It was learned through hours of tracking and observation. Applying it today, you can improve your chances of locating water without relying on maps or GPS. Watch for animal trails, clustered vegetation, or damp soil. Small depressions in the ground, where insects swarm, often indicate water below. By combining these observations with the solar still method, you can generate a steady supply of emergency water. Even when frontier travellers collected water, they knew it wasn't automatically safe. Streams could carry bacteria, protozoa, or chemical runoff from upstream. Historical accounts indicate that explorers often used improvised filtering methods before boiling. Sand, charcoal, and cloth were layered to remove particulates, while water was then heated over small campfires to ensure pathogens were neutralized. For modern outdoor enthusiasts, this principle remains crucial. A layered filter can be as simple as a bandana, sand and charcoal from a fire. Pour collected water through it before boiling or using a portable filter. The frontier trick wasn't just about finding water, it was about making it safe to drink, a lesson as relevant now as it was 300 years ago. Frontiersmen also took advantage of the environment in subtle ways. In deserts or high plains, rocks and soil cool overnight, causing condensation in the morning. A simple sponge, cloth, or even leaves pressed against cool surfaces can collect tiny but vital amounts of water. Similarly, morning dew on grass or leaves was often harvested by wiping it into containers or even drinking directly in emergency situations. This method demonstrates a critical survival mindset. Every drop counts. In situations where traditional sources are unavailable, combining dew collection with plant transpiration and wildlife observation can keep you hydrated long enough to reach a more reliable water source. The most important lesson from these historical techniques is not a single method, but the mindset behind them. Frontiersmen didn't panic when water sources weren't visible. They observed, improvised, and persisted. They knew the land offered solutions if they approached it methodically, and they treated water not as a given, but as a resource to be extracted intelligently. Applying this today, you don't need wilderness survival gear to benefit from these strategies. Learning to recognize plant types, understanding animal behavior, and mastering solar stills or dew collection equips you with a toolkit that works when modern conveniences fail. Whether you're hiking, prepping, or just curious about historical survival methods, these principles can save lives. The frontier water trick isn't a relic of history. It's a living testament to human ingenuity in extreme conditions. From solar stills to observing wildlife and harvesting dew, the methods of early explorers offer practical, actionable solutions for anyone facing emergencies. If you value these forgotten survival techniques and want to uncover more strategies forged in history's toughest landscapes, subscribe to Echoes of Valor and share this video with fellow history buffs and survival enthusiasts. Remember, the wisdom of the frontier is still flowing, if you know where to look.